Just last week, when we asked State Forestry and Fire Management's John Truitt what kind of a fire season we could see this year in Arizona, he pointed to our warm and dry winter.
So it's all going to be dependent on spring, but right now, the way the vegetation is, how dry it is, it's going to take a lot of moisture to get that vegetation to recover. So this could be a pretty active fire season, early fire season, and a long duration fire season.
Now, as we've seen those fires continue to burn in the LA area, and today strong Santa Ana winds are expected, where are we when it comes to the most dangerous areas of the valley? Joining us is Scottsdale Fire Chief Tom Shannon. Good morning, Tom. And is the urban-desert interface along the edges of the valley, is that what concerns you the most?
It does. Good morning. It does. You know, Scottsdale has a very substantial open space and a very, very large preserve. And it is one of the most significant fire prevention challenges that we have in the city, precisely for what you just described. You know, we have homes and businesses that abut that open space and that Sonoran preserve. And so we focus very, very diligently on making sure that we educate and are responsive to the needs of that interface.
Are people getting the message, Chief? We're talking about those construction-started fires like you've had in North Scottsdale. I mean, just last week there was a construction worker cutting metal on a windy day and sparked a 2-acre brush fire in your city. Are people getting the message? You got to be careful in these desert-urban interfaces?
Well, I sure hope so. We are going to continue to pound that message into everyone's minds. We have a very aggressive plan to work with our contractors, and this year we'll be adding an additional feature of enforcement. We tend to be reactive in the fire service sometimes to some of these known hazards, and so we're going to be very proactive this year. But then it's not just our contractors. It's, folks doing what we need them to do, which is providing defendable spaces for their homes and just not knowing how to do that safely. So we can do that with education as well.
Chief, everybody has seen the videos out of L.A., and it's absolutely terrifying when you realize just how fast those fires moved. Are we in that kind of danger here, or is this a different kind of danger?
You know, each topography has its own unique challenges. We certainly would not expect the winds that they experience, but you know, every year with our monsoons, we get features of wind systems that will impact that topography. And all throughout our open spaces, we focus on fire flow modeling. We do modeling. We do tabletops. We know the areas of the Sonoran Preserve and the open spaces, and we can anticipate fairly regularly what it might do. But we always have to be ready for wind changes, weather changes, and certainly, as John described earlier, there's elements of climate that are always a wild card.
Yeah, we were talking with Scottsdale Fire Chief Tom Shannon about the possibility of those types of fires that they're seeing in L.A. here, which is not the case because, you know, we don't have the same vegetation and exactly the same topography. But I did want to ask you if you agree with John Truitt. You know, we started off our interview with him talking about it's going to be probably an early start and a long duration fire season. Do you agree with that assessment?
I do. We used to have what we call fire seasons. We would anticipate somewhere around April, May to late summer, maybe September, but really it's year round now. And, the fuel systems are slightly different, but, the invasive species and then the native plants that overgrow in our open spaces are a huge concern. So we really have to manage those fuels proactively.
All right.
Scottsdale Fire Chief Tom Shannon joining us here on KTAR and Arizona's Morning News. We thank you so much.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.